How's it going, guys? And welcome back to episode 2 of my brand new podcast, We Need to Talk. I hope you're all doing well. Um, I know this one's a little late, you know, especially since this is new. I was gonna say I'll try to be as consistent as I can. I will, but I can't promise it'll be incredibly consistent. I do have a job and other things outside of this, but, putting that aside, today I wanted to talk about a couple things, and a couple things in particular involving movies. I did go, and I know this is gonna be late because by the time this is posted, it's been what, over a month since these movies have come out. Uh, um, I went and participated in the Barbenheimer craze. I was able to go opening weekend. I didn't see them right at like one after the other. I saw Oppenheimer at like 10:30 in the morning IMAX, and then my friends and I we went and did some stuff. We went out, did some things, got lunch, and then we came back later and saw Barbie. And I just wanted to talk about those two movies. Um, Let me start with well, excuse me. I guess I'll start with let's. I want to end with positive, so I'll start with Barbie. I didn't love it honestly, and that's okay. Um, I thought I was expecting it to be like weird and colorful and all the way through. Actually, my friend and I both said that, and it wasn't, and it also wasn't as weird as I thought it was gonna be. I really like Greta Gerwig, and Noah Baumbach. I really liked Lady Bird. Um, you know, I thought Little Women was good too. Um, so maybe I had like higher hopes going in than I don't want to say that I should have because like she's a very competent director. She's a very competent filmmaker. And she's showing that. But you know, actually, let me turn my other monitor on so I can pull stuff up on the screen, read it. But I don't know. Maybe I probably wasn't the target audience. Um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like I sat down, the movie started, and after a while, I was just like, I kind of just wanted it to be done, and I was just sitting there. You know, let me look up. Let me look up. Hold on. I have my other monitor on. I'm gonna pull up Barbie 2023 film. I do know what is AI search on Google. What is it? Turn on. No. Yeah, I do know. At the time of recording this, it's now box office $1.291 billion. It's the highest grossing movie made by a woman ever. Which good for her. Honestly, that's awesome. Um, oh, Amy Pascal was a producer on this. I didn't even know that. Huh. Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes, 88%. Wow, that's actually doing better than I thought it was gonna do. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at other movies for a second. Yeah. Oh wow, it's a lot closer. Uh, let's see. Critic score 88, audience score 83. Um, yeah, I don't like. this guy, let's see. I'm gonna like just like kind of read off some of the reviews, see what I agree with. There's 402 fresh and 56 rotten. This guy, Leonard Maltin, the top critic, said, "When I became a father, I searched for movies I would show my daughter positive role models, and it was tough going. Barbie makes up for lost time and should warm the hearts of parents and daughters alike." Okay, yep, I understand that. In a world where blockbuster films are surrounded by digital. Oh, this. Yes. Okay. I have to. Okay. This guy, Damian Levy, he's a movie critic. Go to his website, DamianMichaelMovies.com. He says, in a world where blockbuster films are surrounded by digital landscapes, Barbie's devotion to practical production is outstanding. Yes, that's okay. So all of the like um sets, well, most of them, especially Barbie Land, was like a soundstage. They actually built it. It wasn't CG, it wasn't green screen, it was all soundstage, like old school Hollywood. And actually, that's something that I will say I really liked. Um, I'm kind of a sucker when it comes to like practical sets, like sound stages, old school Hollywood. Um, one of my favorite movies, especially it was my probably my favorite movie growing up, but one of my favorite movies was is The Wizard of Oz. Classic Hollywood, you know. Um, sound stages, everything. This movie, yeah, Barbie Land is all soundstage. I'm sure with the stuff in the real world, it was all shot in location. I don't know, but even the scenes that if you've seen it when they're starting to go to the real world and they're going through all those transitions, you know, the flying, the boats and all that, that's all practical. They built all of that. So I do agree. I think that's really cool. Um, let's see. Gerwig satire. This is Adam Kempenar. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I don't. Yeah, Adam Kempenar gave it a 3.5 out of 5. He's I guess he's from I don't know what film spotting is. That must be a. It is public economy. Yeah, I guess you have Adam Kempenar. Gerwig's satire and the comedic chops of Robbie and especially Gosling fall into perfect rhythm once Barbie and Ken leave the candy-colored comforts of Barbie Land and Ken discovers the patriarchy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the acting's great, right? Everyone in it was good. Um, Margot Robbie is always good, like in everything she's in. So was Ryan Gosling, but Ryan Gosling like really like stood out. He was so good in this, like 100% committed. Um, and I just yeah, I kind of hope. I'm going to assume when it comes time for the Academy Awards, he will be up for Best Supporting Actor. Also, I'm sure you've already seen it by now. If you haven't, he does have an original song in it, and I feel like that's gonna be up for best original song. Let me go to the and let me see what people say. Oh, let's see. Oh, oh, John Flickinger. I do know who he is. He's a YouTuber. John Flickinger. He's the Flick Pick. He says the Barbie flick struts self-awareness, luring us all in, but humor falters by Act 3, like an SNL skit past its prime. Fear not, for Ryan Gosling's charismatic portrayal of Ken almost rescues the day, but not quite. Yeah, I can. Okay, I can kind of agree with that. Actually, pretty well. Um, I see a lot of reviews I'm not gonna get too into it, but I'll mention I do see a lot of reviews, a lot of people saying it's a very anti-man movie, and I don't think it is. I really don't. I'm not entirely sure where people get it from. It's literally it's it's just it's a movie about, these dolls going to the real world and finding out what it's like to be like a real human and wanting to fit in and wanting to be human. And it's a fun, goofy, whatever. So yeah, I agree with that. I actually really like John his let me see what other movies he's. How do you become a I want to figure out how to become like a approved critic. Um Actually, a full review of John Flickinger. Oh, it just brings me to his it just brings me to his YouTube video. But yeah, go check out his YouTube channel, The Flick Pick. He does some good reviews and other things. He's good buddies with Chris Stuckman, who I also like as a critic, and I watch his channel. Um, yeah, definitely go check him out. Let me log into my letterbox because I sign in. Let's see, films, profile. I gave Barbie 2.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, and I chose the Michael Cera as Alan picture for the poster because I have whatever that I'm a patron for Letterboxd. Um, yeah, I don't have much more to say about it other than um, I don't think I was a target audience. Honestly, I didn't grow up playing with Barbie, which is fun. Um, I think my sister played with Barbie. I don't have anything against Barbie as a product or an IP. I don't. Um, but I didn't really have any like nostalgia for it, and a lot. There's a lot of nostalgia like Easter eggs in this movie. There's a lot of references to Mattel's um other like products and stuff. Um, yeah. There's even they have a reference to, and this I guess is a small spoiler, but not like a major. This isn't a story spoiler. There's a reference to, I guess at one point Mattel had released a pregnant Barbie, and then recalled it. I think her name was like M- Mid, Mary, Midge. Maybe it's Midge. I don't know. That could be. I think that sounds right. Yeah, and she's in the movie for like 2 seconds, and everyone's like Mitch is weird. Ew. Alright, yeah, so that's Barbie. 2.5 out of 5. Now let me go to Oppenheimer because this is a movie. This okay. I'll just start off by saying I gave it 4.5 out of 5. I really, really, really like this movie, and let me actually pull up uh, Oppenheimer Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see. Right now, Oppenheimer's got a critic score of 93%. Excuse me. And it's got a audience score of 91, and box office gross USA 285.4 million. Like, fresh 426. Fresh reviews, 31 rotten. Listen, this is such a good movie. I We went and saw it at 10:30 in the morning, me and my friends, and we will sometimes do that. And sometimes seeing a movie early in the morning like that, or really late at night at like 10, 11, whatever, depending on the day or whatever, sometimes I have a hard time staying awake. I might doze off for 5 minutes and then I'm fine. But I s- stayed up the whole time to this, and this is a 3 hour movie, and it's not it's not an action packed movie. It's very like dialogue heavy, kind of slow moving movie, and it's so good. And if I don't know if it's still in theaters, I'm not sure. But if it is and you haven't seen it and you want to, or you're not sure if you want to, I recommend it, but I recommend seeing it in IMAX. It was filmed for IMAX with film, like actual IMAX film. I believe it was like 75 millimeter, which and very limited theaters I think were actually showing it with like a film like projector. I couldn't find any around here. Now I mean I didn't really look, but I kind of looked like briefly, but I didn't see anything around me that had that, and I wish they were doing it around here, but I think that was like bigger cities or small town, and like you know, so I because there's just something about film. It's yeah, and I really like Christopher Nolan. Um, I had heard people say because Nolan sometimes his audio gets drowned out by like the score, or the audio is just really low. I have to say, out of memory, I don't really remember that happening all that much. In this film, I heard people say it was a problem with Oppenheimer, but I don't remember having like experiencing it that. And I don't remember that in this movie. But when it comes out, maybe I'll have to watch it. Like when it comes out digitally, or maybe I'll have to rewatch it again. Yeah, I really liked it. I think there was some stuff in the beginning I wasn't like the way it was paced in the beginning I didn't like, but after like maybe the first 30 minutes or so, it was like I was in. It was great. Um, I think Cillian Murphy is going to get nominated this year for best actor in a leading role. I think I think Robert Downey Jr. could get nominated for like supporting actor because this is one of the best performances of his career. Maybe close to his best at absolutely, but it's definitely one of his best. And Matt Damon also was like really good. Everyone was really good, I think. Um, Emily Blunt for the little bit that she was in it was really good too. Um, Benny Safdie, uh, oh Tom Conti, man, as Einstein was so good. And Gary Oldman as Harry Truman. Okay, he comes in at the very end. He's only in it for like five, maybe 10 minutes, if that. Not even 10 minutes. He plays Harry Truman. I did not recognize him at all. I love Gary Oldman. He's so good, and he's so good in this too. And I mean Jason Clarke's in it too. Yeah, he's always good. Let's read some of the the positive fresh reviews from it's our friend Damian Levy again. Uh, as he corrals the world's scientists to follow behind him, Robert Oppenheimer is magnetic, more akin to a cult leader than a lowly white coat. Um, this is from Daniel Rester from Battle Royale with Cheese. I don't know what that is. He says Oppenheimer is a long film, but never causes a sense of, I don't know what this word, and annoy, ennui, ennui, a feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. So I guess, but it never ceases a sense of ennui. The subjects are both intriguing and terrifying, as Nolan warns against nuclear possibilities and character assassination. Daniel Rester. Robert Horton from The Scarecrow. 3 out of 4. What rating? 3 out of 4. It's a noble try, an interesting experience, and an absolutely fascinating example of the director as a superstar. Like, it's so. Alright, this movie is so fucking good. Uh, yeah, your Discord. I got a little Discord notification. Um, let's see. From the Sioux City Journal, Bruce R. Miller, Oppenheimer is a stunner. In one more way, director Christopher Nolan reminds us cinema is a vital art form, not a disposable one. Matthew Haynes, a YouTuber, you could find him at Matthew V. Haynes. Cillian Murphy did a fantastic job with his portrayal of Dr. Oppenheimer. Not only did he resemble Dr. Oppenheimer, he was able to capture all of the fear and torment with his facial expression alone. Christopher Nolan truly brought filmmaking up a notch. Yes, you hear people talk about this, and um, like in a lot of their reviews when the movie's coming out, in in killing in his face and Killing Murphy's face, he captured the regret, the the despair, just everything in his face. He's such a if you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, you already know this. He's such a what's the word? A lot of the acting he does is in his face. Expressive. He's an expressive actor, and it comes across so well in Oppenheimer. I um I think going in, obviously if you know the the basic of the story, basis of the story, if you know the background, if you know the World War II, the story, the history, obviously you know what happens. So it is you're watching it and you know what's gonna happen. It's not a mystery. So you have this sense of like maybe dread is the right word. My it is a little bit. It's interesting for me. My grandmother was born in Japan. She's Japanese, born in Japan in the 40s, right around the end of the war. So she was a baby when the bomb was dropped. She wasn't anywhere near it. So I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be here, but um, it's kind of interesting for me. I think not really a direct like relation, but an indirect one to it. Um, yeah. Let me go to the rotten reviews, and I'm just curious. Let's see. Rob Gonzalez, Rob's Movie Vault. His picture is Indiana Jones. I think that's from either Raiders or Last Crusade. There's one element worthy of unreserved praise here, and that's Robert Downey Jr.'s welcome home performance, his comeback, if you will, from his comeback, which kid, which kidnapped him into more movies for 11 years. What? Joe Lapointe of Metro Times in Detroit said, "At 3 hours, Oppenheimer as a whole falls short of the sum of its pleasing parts." I don't agree with that, honestly, and that's okay. That everyone's gonna have their own opinion. Um, I don't get this one. This guy, Ryan Zyrek from The Reader in Omaha, said Oppenheimer is sensationally filmed. The performances are mostly great, provided the role is a dude. It's easy to see why so many people are praising what's here, but it is stealth stupid. It is sneaky simplistic. It is camouflage dumb. I don't understand what he means by provided the role is a dude. Tara McNamara. Common Sense Media. Like Robert J. Oppenheimer, Nolan is a genius, and also like Oppenheimer, he may be too close to his subject matter to realize that he lost the thread. So a lot of these are just people complain. Not, I don't want to say complaining, but it kind of is that the film is too slow, too long. This guy Armand White from the National Review said, "Because Nolan's politics are always obscure, it's good that his filmmaking is so slick, yet laborious, convoluted, and enervating. Otherwise, a perverse, immoral epic like Oppenheimer might be dangerous." Mark Hughes from Forbes. Oppenheimer is ambitious and includes many mesmerizing, often brilliant moments, but those moments cannot sustain themselves nor find common ground as a single compelling narrative or perspective. I, again, I could be biased because I really liked it, but I don't. This guy, or this woman, sorry, Marie Asner from Phantom Tollbooth. I don't know if I read this one already, but she gave it a 2 out of 5, and she said, and this was back August 18th, she said, "I found the last third of this movie to be interesting, and the first two-thirds to be long and at times not understandable. I'm, like I said, the first 30 minutes is slow. I mean, it's a 3-hour film. It's a film that requires setup to understand the story, because the film, yes, well, it shows how he got the Manhattan Project going and he got the team together. It's also showing at parts, like after the bomb was dropped, when he was being investigated for ties to the Communist Party. So you have like two plots sort of going at almost at the same time, but at different time periods in his life. So maybe that's why people were confused. But I think I think it's really good. So I don't know. The next movie I saw. Oh wait, before I go to the next movie, I will a quick. So this is my review on Letterboxd of Oppenheimer. Um, again, 4.5 out of 5. I watched it on the 23rd of July. I said some guy in the back slept through the test bomb being dropped. 4.5 out of 5. This guy, maybe I don't even want to say an hour in the movie, fell asleep. This guy sitting behind us, and he's snoring, and like and like you know the movie would get a little bit loud at some points, and then it would get really quiet, and you would just hear him snore. And they would do the test bombs, and I was like, oh, when they do like the last test, like they would do the smaller test bombs. I said when they do like the actual like test bomb, the last one, there's no way because it's IMAX. It's gonna be so loud. They drop it right. It's really quiet, but really bright, and then all of a sudden it's just a big boom, and it kind of shakes the theater, and then it gets quiet again, and you just hear the snore. It was really funny. I don't know. It's just me that it was funny. Um, okay, so the next, sorry for the little bit of silence. The next movie, I was trying to get up to the next one. The next movie I saw was the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem. Um, this I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I said this was a really good Turtles movie, almost as good as the '90s one. That's Kino. Kino was like a film thing. Um, I don't really know how to describe it, but let me pull it up on. There's Enter Shredder. Um, Here it is. Rotten Tomatoes. 97% critic score, 91 audience. What is the critics' consensus? With its unique visual style and a story that captures the essence of the franchise's appeal, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is an animated treat for the whole family. Audience say, with fantastic visuals, an excellent voice cast, and lots of laughs, TMNT might be the best film of in the franchise. It's made 88.2 million domestically. I wish Rotten Tomatoes would do like a international box office thing too, and not just domestic. Yeah, so again, this is the Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg one. Uh, they cast real like teenagers to do the voices for the turtles, which I think added to it. It was They were really good. Um, Jackie Chan was Splinter. You had um, then you had all these other characters within the turtles. I don't want to say mythos, but within their lore that were in this movie. So you had like John Cena's Rocksteady, um, Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter Stockman, uh, Rose Byrne was Leatherhead, Annabelle Buress was Genghis Frog, Paul Rudd was Mondo Gecko, Seth Rogen was Bebop. Like it was like okay, and Ayo Edebiri, I think is her name. She's in The Bear. She played April O'Neil. She was really good as well. Everyone in the movie was good. I I love the visual style of this movie, the animation style, and I think it's great that a lot of these movies, animated movies especially, are now taking um what's the word? Taking chances in their style. I think it really started with the last Spider Verse movie, the first Spider Verse movie, excuse me. Oh look, breaking news, what is this? With the last Spider Verse movie. Oh, Bob Barker died. Well that's wow. Shit. He was 99. That's breaking. That it. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll look at that after. I'm doing this right now. Um. Yeah. I think with the first Spider Verse movie, it really started. Um. The style, the different animation styles, and then obviously you had Puss in Boots come out last year, which again, fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. It's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and then you have this movie, which I thought I didn't. All in all honesty, I wasn't the biggest Turtles fan growing up. I didn't. I mean, I watched the show sometimes, but I wasn't like, the biggest Turtles fan. the Kevin Eastman and Laird. I don't know what his. I can't remember his first name. The creators, they're from a town near me. Um, the turtles were created right near me in a town near me. Yeah. Admittedly, I wasn't the biggest turtles fan growing up. I also wasn't the biggest Power Rangers, kid growing up. I don't know much about like Power Rangers lore, Turtles lore. I know a little more about the Turtles because I did watch the show from time to time. Um, I've seen the Michael Bay movies. I've seen the 1990 movies. Um, this was such a good movie. I highly recommend it. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. Let's go over some of uh, where's my mouse? There it is. Some of the fresh reviews. There's only 7 rotten. The fresh reviews. Isaac Feldberg from Above the Line said, "The film's animation style evokes the rebellious freeform of a teen doodling in the margins of their school books." I like that. "Propelled by overactive imaginations and inclined, as many high schoolers are toward the stage. The strange, grimy, and grotesque." Yeah, I like that. Wendy Ide from The Observer, which is the UK Observer. 4 out of 5 she gave it. "The nostalgic 80s and 90s hip hop soundtrack is sublime, and while the action sequences can be hard to follow, there's no faulting the film's fizzing energy." Yeah, okay. Let me go into my Spotify really quick cuz that's something I wanted to mention. The soundtrack was so good. Like, whether or not you're a fan of 90s hip hop, 80s music, it's hold on. Let me see if I can they had like that De La Soul song, I Know, on there. No Diggity was on there. Um, they had a Tribe Called Quest, Can I Kick It? That which was a great song where they used that uh what's his name? The guy from the Velvet Underground. Lou Reed, that Lou Reed song. Walking the Wild Side, that doom 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 doom. Um yeah, like Trent Reznor, okay, from Nine Inch Nails, scored this film. It is so good. It's just, oh, they have an ODB song in here, Brooklyn Zoo. Uh, yeah, Trent Reznor. I mean, the films that he's scored. Let me like what films has Trent Reznor composed for? The Social Network. Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Soul, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, mid '90s, Seven, Gone Girl, Bird Box, Bones and All, Mank. This guy's like David Lynch's Lost Highway. Like, this is best film scores composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, because they do it together. Uh, Trent Reznor, he's the multi instrumentalist frontman and founding member of Nine Inch Nails. Has been in the music industry since the mid '80s, and this is an article from MovieWeb.com. I I'll put a link in the description below. I'm pointing down like I'm on camera. I'm not on camera for this. I've considered, by the way, speaking of, I've considered setting my camera up, but I'm not sure yet. Um, let's see. In the mid 90s, Reznor put his talent to use in the movie industry, working as a producer on the soundtracks for Natural Born Killers and Lost Highway. Reznor wrote the song A Perfect Drug for the film, which would later prove to be one of the band's greatest hits. He also produced a cover of Joy Division's Dead Souls for the Crow soundtrack. He did the music, let's see. In the early 2000s, Reznor was asked to compose an original score for, the Robin Williams film 1 Hour Photo. Despite his work ultimately being scrapped, the opportunity presented a new career path to the musician. Former Nine Inch Nails collaborator Atticus Ross would eventually join Reznor, and the duo has since produced many unforgettable scores for equally unforgettable films. They are currently working on David Fincher's upcoming film, The Killer. Uh, where did they go? Like, which will mark their fifth collaboration with the director. Ooh, I backed out of it by accident. So here are some of his best. He did music for Patriots Day, Bones and All, which was okay. Empire of Light. That's the film that I think it won some Academy Awards. Like they came out last year. Before the Flood. That's the Leonardo DiCaprio, Fisher Stevens film about climate change. Waves. I'm not familiar with that one. No Girl with Dragon Tattoo I've seen. Mid 90s is a good movie. Mank, about Herman Mankiewicz. Like Citizen Kane guy. Gone Girl. TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, Soul. Yeah, so John Batiste. Okay, John Batiste did the jazz compositions when they were in New York, but then when they went into the ethereal, that's what this word, ethereal, like the spirit world, that's what Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the music for that. And The Social Network. So yeah, I mean, dude's like incredibly talented. All right. Let's look at a couple. There's 7 rotten reviews. I'm just curious. This is John Wenzel from the Denver Post, because I've already been recording for 43 minutes, much longer than I thought it was going to be. Um, Simply being better than past failures does not make something good. While Mutant Mayhem does several things right, from its likable voice cast to its refreshed version of the Turtles' origin story, it also gets stuck in the same gunk as its forebears. Maya Phillips from New York Times. There's little complexity to the characters and no surprise to the plot, and even the messaging about tolerance, good intentions, and outsiders finding their brood is so unimaginatively expressed that it feels cliche. Uh, oh, Jeremy Johns didn't like it? The emotional tones of this movie we're going for were buried under the weight of comedy. Is this the Jeremy Johns I'm thinking of? I don't know if this is the same Jeremy Johns as the YouTuber, but I imagine it probably is. I haven't seen his review for this yet, so I don't know. Okay, well, I've already been going on. Oh, movie trivia. That's a new feature on Rotten Tomatoes, huh? Three words. Well, that's it for me. Sorry, I got distracted at this thing. Again, I know this is a little late, and I apologize for that. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I'm not sure when I'll get the next episode up. Um, yeah, I've been pretty busy. I've been in a training week all week for work. I've been, my birthday was up here, so I've had some stuff going on. Um, I do work at a school, and the kids come back. So on this, at that time of recording, it's August 26th. The kids come back on the Monday, so this is a Saturday. They come back Monday. So it might get a little crazy, and I have my last college class that I've signed up for. Um, so of that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Um, and I will see you guys in the next video or episode, whatever I do. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Bye. Where's my mouse? There it is.